hang on, you've just...
No, I like it. This is brilliant, but I like this.
The Vickers Mark III is an amazing tank. There, I said it. I loved playing it. It was fun, but this is also because it plays fairly similar to the Leopard 1, and I adore the Leopard 1. It is fun because it's fast, it has an amazing gun, good DPM, and it just suits my playstyle well. And the good thing is, the Vickers, compared to the Leopard 1, is different in some aspects, but the core gameplay stays the same. But now you ask yourself, wait a second, the Centurion AX exists. And here's the problem which I have with the Vickers. You invest over 1 million free XP, if you want to get it fairly quickly with the style, to get a tank which is basically almost equal to the Centurion AX, only being different in two main parameters, being accuracy. The DPM is the same and it's amazing. And the aim time is almost the same, which is great. And the accuracy on the move is exactly the same. Except for the accuracy, which is better on the Vickers and the armor. Where the Centurion AX has quite decent chunk of armor compared to the Vickers, which is a paper tank in disguise. And with that, before we start to go more in depth, two minor points, I would say. First things first, compared to the Leopard 1. I also have to quickly change it, not here, but here. So we have the equal point. The DPM, slightly better on the Vickers, which is great. Accuracy, also better. Aim time, slightly worse. Accuracy on the move, bit better on the Vickers. During to reverse, bit better for the Leopard. Top speed, there's the big difference. But then again, it's also like, it's acceptable. You know, it works. You can work with those 55. And the 25 kph in reverse are great. And you actually have a bit of better HP per ton ratio with better terrain resistances, giving the Vickers also an advantage when it goes up the hill. And armor values, both are paper tanks, that's about it. But again, you can see, fairly balanced out. Something here better, something there better, core concept the same. But then why does the Centurion AX exist? It has, yes, it has worse accuracy, and teeny tiny bit worse aim time, but accuracy on the move is the same, top speed is the same, HP per ton ratio and with the terrain resistances is almost the same. Reverse speed is worse on the AX, okay. Armor is a lot better, and camo is fairly equal. So again, I pose the question to you. Should you, or do you want to use boatload of resources to get a tank which already exists in a tech tree, which has two minor details different, which doesn't really completely change the gameplay of the tank, you know? However, there are 40,000 tanks on the EU server with a style. This is the style. It looks pretty decent, but it also looks very similar to all the other 3D styles we already had for the assembly shop tanks. So it is what it is, I'd say. It does look cool, and as you can see, it also has a camo pattern for winter and also for summer maps, if I am not mistaken. And with that, I think I gave you a quick overview of everything I wanted to say. Let's now move over to the tank itself again. The gun, as mentioned previously, is great. 105mm gun. It has HESH with 105mm of pen. It has, sadly, heatless premium with only 330mm of pen. Why do I say sadly? Because when you compare it to the Leopard 1, you once again start to notice that the problem is that APCR tends to be better for sniper tanks, especially as premium rounds, than heat because of the slower shell velocity and the fact that heat tends to get caught up in tracks or in heat screens, which makes it annoying. However, also obviously you cannot forget that heat is better for tanks like the Stridsvan 103, where the Leopard 1 have some issues with. But the main gripe I have with the Vickers Freeze gun is it lacks shell amount. It has 50 rounds, and that is with this amazing DPM very, 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 very poor. It's bad. It's just bad. It's not good. It lacks ammo, quite literally. And if you have a good game with this tank, which can happen quite frequently if you know how to use the tools which you are given, it works wonderful to you to start to think, uh-oh, I'm running out of ammo. Yeah. There, definitely Leopard 1 is much better, as you don't need to think too much about ammo selection, especially if you want to try hard. It's just go, and have fun. In the Vickers 3, if you're using the setup which I've run, which was Vents, HB, and Rammer, you also have with Intuition an amazingly quick reload time between HE, APCR, and Heat if you're already loaded thanks to Intuition, which allows you to have always the perfect round ready, especially when it comes to between APCR and HE when you want to slap a lightly armored vehicle, which is always like chef's kiss when you hit them for 500 damage as a medium, which reloads, at least in my case, in 6.5 seconds. Without bond equipment, mind you, but putting in T. So, the gun is amazing. The main point which isn't amazing with this vehicle is the armor. I assume you could have already seen this coming. Yes, it is red, but that's because it's the thickest armor value. When we go to the live and compare to the Leopard, you can see it's all green. Everything is green. Everything. And this leads to the problem that because everything is green, the armor is so piss poor, it's 30 millimeters. And 17 on the roof. You know what that means? RD will absolutely adore you. Yes, the Leopard 1 doesn't have much better armor either, but it's still 5mm better. Which can lead to you not getting insta Omega penned all the time. So yeah. Also technically fun point when it's 35mm, certain guns can't pen you because of auto bounce, while with 30mm, for example, the 17-pounders, I think, or 23-pounders, the one which are 94mm thick, they can pen you even through the angles. So yeah, armor-wise, forget about it. Also, it has the annoying thing that it has an ammo rack in the front, so keep that in mind as well. So here, module damage, you shouldn't get hit. It's a sniper tank, don't get hit, you will be fine. Next point is the mobility. Again, I understand that people might say, well, 70 kph versus 55. That is bad. I want to use a turbo. Be my guest. You can be a turbo guy. That's a-okay. In my play session, I've noticed that the turbo didn't really give me that much advantage, or it didn't really... I never played it with turbo, so there is that. However, I never really felt like, damn, I wish I would have been faster, you know? Because if you drive up the hill, you are equal in speed usually to the Leopard 1, thanks to the better HP per ton ratio, and the Leopard not going to achieve 70 kph up the hill anyway. And B, I believe for the general player, having a massive high top speed which allows you to reposition yourself a lot is not that important. And this is also the thing, again, which I want to yap on about previously. The Leopard 1 is an amazing tank, it's fun to play, it also suits the meta really well with its Pika Boom quality and 420 alpha. I do believe that your average player might have a little bit more issue with the Vickers Mark III because of less armor and 390 alpha. The Centurion AX kind of redeems himself there with the better armor, at least also on the turret, which can bounce semi-reliably things and not get Omega screwed over by artillery. So there is that. The amazing thing about Vickers is the reverse speed. 25 kph is chef's kiss as well. It feels amazing. You can get into cover insanely quickly, especially if you also decide to take the other field modification, giving you almost, I think, 28 kph in reverse without turbo, which is, that is zooming around. So, at the final point, we have the view range, which is also really good. It's 410 meters, so you can definitely go for a QB setup where you go for full spotting with CVS, with optics, and with Vents or LNE. You can even use the spotting point or spotting field modification to push your CVS because there's no bond or bound equipment yet. And you can still use your HP booster or HP point module when you want to use it with bond or bounty equipment. I don't think you will take bond, but bounty could work as well. So let's try to wrap it up again. I was all over the place once again with this video. The thing is, the Vickers MBT Mark III is, at least for me, and I think a lot of players also, a great tank. It's fun to play, it feels dynamic, and it feels rewarding thanks to its amazing DPM and amazing gun. However, it is different enough from the Leopard 1 that I would say, yeah, makes sense you want to have both. But it's not really necessary when the Centurion Action X exists. You know? Yes, it is a lot more accurate than the Action X, but that's the only main point. So if you can live with a little bit worse accuracy, just get the Centurion Action X and you saved out on resources. Here I really am between a rock and a hard place. If the Centurion Action X Action 10 wouldn't exist in this state it is right now, I'd say yes, Vickers 100%, let's go, it's amazing. But it does exist in the current state, so their Vickers doesn't really have a reason to exist. And this makes it a little bit harder for me to judge if you should go for it or not. In the end, you have to know for yourself. I had my fun, so I will definitely get it. And I believe you can also have fun if you enjoy the gameplay of the Leopard 1. Because the gameplay is different than the Action X. With the Action X, you try to play very aggressively as well. With the Vickers, you can't really do that thanks to the non-existent armor. But you can also try it because of the amazing gun handling. And with that, I yapped enough. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share the video if you enjoyed it and give it a like and a thumbs up, which are both things, so don't do that at the same time because then you don't give it a like. But don't forget to make a comment and tell me what you think about that. My name is RagingRaptor. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.